Today, the 24th day of November 2020. Yumkella na table. A discussion will be happen at the Parliament of Sierra Leone concerning the rehabilitation of the oil refinery na Salone. The Minister of Trade Kolleh na Parliament then table for make he explain say then get this good thing where Salone go benefit from, and this one go make fear not a shutting again and all them things then they. But oh yeah, Honorable Kandeh Kolleh Yumkella was not having it. Waiting do you go can know inside the program. But for now, make we check the status update for COVID-19 na Salone. The labs then test 236. Now in the labs then analyze 236 tests. Now in the labs then analyze. Out of that 236 day, none no come positive. Last week we get 3 days out of 7 days. We get 0 cases them. This week, Sunday, we get 0 case. Yesterday, we get 1. Today back, we get 0 case. Below they go. We hope say, because last week, I think we pulled the numbers. Inside 1 green day, we go get a 6. So this, how they maintain them so, let they go. So we get 0 case today. And because of that, the number still stay the same like yesterday. 2,406 people we don't test positive in Sierra Leone. For the past 24 hours, nobody no lost in life to COVID-19. So we still stand at 74. The one in the isolation center, now 503. The one them we recover from COVID-19. Now one person now recover from COVID-19 for the last 24 hours. Then they don't carry the number to 1,829. They want them where they na quarantine center 66. Then they drop. They want them on discharge now 12,166. Let me check Mano River Union countries them. For today, Sierra Leone 0, Guinea 28, Liberia 0. Ivory Coast 10. Then they give you a total number of 48 people that then test positive at the Mano River Union countries them. For death, it still remains the same like yesterday. Sierra Leone 74, Guinea 75, Liberia 82, and Ivory Coast 129. Where then they give 360 people and then don't lost their lives to COVID-19 at the Mano River Union countries them. Where you look safe for say the entire Mano River Union countries for today na 38. Africa, whatever they help we will out to one. But again, face mask and wash we hand. The wasan, a good hygiene practice. Yes, we know say water. It kind of be a luxury, but please wash your hand and save your life. And don't forget the face mask. We'll come into a program proper for today. As I've been telling in the intro, say today we want to go inside Parliament, make we listen what in Parliament debate about this oil refinery. The leader of business is selling market proper one. Other parliamentarian then sell the market, say this go good. But Honorable Kandeh Kolleh Yumkella, he say no. This one, the goodies where this one carry it too boku. And I want to make you listen. I want make you really listen. Because it talk something there. If you no catch am, listen, yeah? I go stop away each day, so I bring your attention just if you no catch am. But for now, make we self join 98.1 as them be go na Parliament and report them just like it is.
Be it resolved that the Honourable House hereby ratifies the following agreement, concession agreement between the Government of Sierra Leone, represented by the Ministry of Trade and Industry and the Ministry of Finance on one hand, and the Oil Petroleum Products Sierra Leone for the rehabilitation and refurbishment of the Kissy storage tanks project.
Dr. Edward Ingasandi, Minister of Trade and Industry, be the lady petroleum projects, with this, according to the minister, is say address the challenge where the country can get anytime fuel can short in the country.
The intent of this agreement is to assure development of the infrastructure to take care of storage capacity. Over the COVID-19 period, we all understand that there had been reduction in the prices of petroleum products across the globe, but one difficult challenge which had been an impediment to the government of Sierra Leone and even investors in the downstream sector. This agreement is going to assure that the Oil Petroleum Product Company is able to refurbish and rehabilitate the storage capacity for petroleum products in the excess of over 70,000 metric tons. An agreement which also allows for partnership with the company to make space for future petroleum reserves. It looks into the potentials of creating jobs and also increasing government revenue.
Where it talk for sake of this agreement, the chairperson for the Trade Committee in Parliament, Honourable Veronica Kadisi, say this project will look inside the maintenance business, where don't be big issue in the country, as this agreement gets for do with the Kissy storage tank project.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, what we lack in this country, if I'm wrong, so be it, but we lack maintenance culture. Maintenance culture in the sense there are strong buildings that have been built decades. They have been lapidated, they are lacking there. If really refurbished, they can serve the purpose. And now we are here again to ratify a building that has been there for decades. And now we have seen somebody or a company that is ready to refurbish that building to create competition in the market. So fuel is very, very much important. And if we are getting today people who are coming to say we are going to compete for this particular thing so that there will not be shortage, I think it's a laudable venture.
I hope say you hear. He say people will come. They say then they can't compete. Compete with who that? That's the other question. According to what we are in now, he say that the people in come, they say then they can't compete. Because if they compete, you need another competitor. Who then be the other competitor? Where did he? Now we'll continue for listening.
Where they talk for sake of this agreement, the leader for the National Grand Coalition Party, Honourable Dr. Kandeh Yumkella, say them party no support this agreement because of the tax and the company is say not qualify for undertake this project.
I look forward to the day that Parliament will take its time and ministers will know that, look, before you sign, let us see it first. This particular one is one case where I don't believe we should be rushed. I tried to Google this company to see if the company has footprints in this industry. I asked colleagues as well, go Google and look at this company. Does it have a track record? Does it have a footprint to grow the petroleum industry in this country? I don't see it. I have problems with the huge concessions. If you look at some of the concessions, one concession will amount to about $25 million.
One green concession where they get this particular company. We know one day do petroleum business. So, one green concession for this company, it go amount to $25 million. Anti-corruption. a company kind of a country, when on one day do petroleum business. One day. Uda go call and come. Uda they under this company. But we'll continue for listening, yeah?
$25 million in this country can build us a good diagnostic center.
Yeah, diagnostic center. Unatrally get one. We need one. Because everybody, okay, $25 million. That is true. We can get one. And then the end of one give kado free to this company. When on one day do petroleum business it. Continue for listening.
I believe it's wrong. This is a profitable industry. Let companies bid.
Let companies bid. Now that one waiting safe. The first parliamentary, what he say? He say, then can compete. I ask who then be the competitors. There was no bidding. No bidding was done for this. So Uda go call them company, Uda go call this particular company, say una come put in no more. And Usef say, because we want, now for just take so. Then we get all the tax waivers, 1 grain concession for waive away, $25 million. Now for give. Uda they under this. In Sierra Leone, we know now. Nobody no go tell me say, say there is somebody underneath this company. We go call and come. Where this nobody no bid. Somebody, we know somebody. Anti-corruption. You need for coming inside. But we'll continue.
NP, Total, Leone Oil and others.
Yes, then forbid. We get Sunday, we get Total, we get NP, we get Leone Oil, we get the oil and saloon. Why they not forbid? If them be, when them people are come, they make an open market. Say, okay, it's an open market until I don't can show interest. Who say forget people them already within the country, where they in country. Now make an open and let we see if they self interested. Or because we want investors. And that's make you not feel say somebody they underneath this. I am a salon. We'll continue for listening.
I didn't see Total asking for huge amounts of concessions. So, the NGC position, we cannot support this agreement.
They make a point clear. NGC, their own position, this, they're not the supporter. Waiting do. Because the minister, and now one part of the thing the way Dr. Kandeh, Kolleh, Yumkella talk back, for say, where they don't done. Now the time they bring a can on a parliament. They need for them the other way around. Before they even start, they can explain to Parliament. Because something, me, Tigipole feel say, somebody, somewhere, they under this. If nobody no bid, then say the person ain't come. The person come, he can't show say he gain interest. But nobody know they for compete. We get other people them. Why we not make them open? And the red flag force, now the Boku tax waivers them. We then plan for give this particular company. The Boku tax waivers them. One, sum up to waiting $25 million. That's a lot of money for Sierra Leone. We need all we send, we Leones and sent. We need that. So NGC, they make them points clear. See, for them, they not agree. Okay.
The Powerman Chief, Member of Parliament, Natonkolili District, Honorable Baiku Kanagbaru Sanka III, self been get concerned about the tax waiver na this project.
It look like say the money too boku. So we see NGC step up. The Paramount Chief self, left BNO. Himself jump inside. Now listen what he say.
I just want to explain one issue here about the tax waivers and the tax exemptions. All we need to know, if you listen and check in America, the rich, wealthy people do not pay government taxes. They contribute to areas that they like most. and that is tax exemption. So therefore, when we give taxes to these people, they are taking it as part of the cost of operating in Sierra Leone. My suggestion is for us to reduce the tax waivers that we are given too much. For example, when African Minerals was operating, we gave them tax exemption in fuel. I oppose that because they were taking too much of our petrol to use for mining and they are not paying taxes on that. So we should not allow that to continue.
Somebody just tell me now, you say the investors them we own this particular company. You say na Sierra Leone, then a Sierra Leoneans them, and then come together and set up this particular company where Dr. Kandeh Kolleh Yumkella they talk say when go Gulam, you not see them when they do petroleum business. So somebody just tell me, that is yet to be confirmed, but person just message me that make I know say this company who they talk about. Still, it's a Sierra Leonean company or investors, that's good. But again, I say, with the huge tax waiver, something is not right somewhere. Now, yeah, we see, okay, hold on first, hold on.
But with all of them concerning, the leader of government business, Honorable Matthew Sanyuma, believes say this agreement good for the country as it go give work to over 1,000 people them.
So then say this particular business project go make over 1,000 people and get work. I'm yet to see the day where they begin verify then over 1,000 people there. Where they can just give you any kind of number. So for over 1,000 people, we're ready for give that now just one no, now be one no more. Now Honorable Kolleh and Yumkella say, now be just only one. We say he reach up to waiting $25 million. Because of one give 1,000 people a work. Then one side for keep the fuel. And so that way short in who go get. I'll continue.
Tax waivers are not coming from heaven to fall on us.
Tax waiver, not from heaven, it they come can fall down. The same parliament will be agree on the heavy tax them. We make even cold storage, Coca-Cola, then move, then go now na Guinea. Now the same parliament now they tell we say tax waiver, the concession where then they give on tax, then companies there, not from heaven they for no condom. Now then they gear. Now yeah, we talk about then local manufacturers them. We say then they charge them on raw material where they come inside 5%, and then they charge them on packaging 10%. So per 1 grain goods they don't already pay, including the other tax them more than the tax them. They don't already pay waiting 15% tax. They no wait for them. But now the same parliament they tell me and you say no to heaven tax waiver they come on. Yes, now parliamentary they come out. We know it. Continue.
They are given by set of people, professionals in every sector.
Then they given by professionals in every sector. Yo, parliament, I signed there.
It's not like when you give out tax waivers or tax concessions, it's like you are giving everything out.
Not all things in the give. So take note.
We are not only talking about the refurbishment of this facility. We are talking about the byproducts. People usually get to the Kissy terminal to get byproduct. 1,000 Sierra Leoneans are going to be employed. More than 1,000. But Mr. Speaker, just to allay the fears of my colleagues on the other side, I respect their views. To be very honest, I like the way they oppose us. It's not just an ordinary concession, it's a grant of concessions they give us. But petroleum products are referred to as political products. If so there's scarcity in the market, everybody makes money out of it. So if you play with it, is going to be very dangerous for any existing administration. So as a responsible entity, you have decided to refurbish because we don't have storage facilities. So we cannot store more petroleum products. So the only little facility we have is where we store some of the products we have, and at any time there is less prices, we cannot have extra places to store them. So if there is hike in the price in the world market, you don't have to follow that price automatically.
Honorable Matthew Sanyuma end up say these agreements go benefit government and the people them, and self go make the country get more fuel storage facility. For Radio Democracy, Princess Pierce the reports.
One for tell Princess Pierce thank you. Tax waivers or the concession is not the come up from heaven, but rather other than the gear, professionals. You don't hear it today, just in case you be the doubt. Eh? You don't hear it. You think say this deal go good for Sierra Leone? Just one concession, just one. Eh? Then they waive up to $25 million. Just one. And then they waive. At this same parliament, I don't give you gist now. A lot of companies them close. But now then they promise we say it will create jobs for 1,000 people. Who they count? Who then can just throw their numbers here give it? Who that can they count safe? Eh? Yes, we need jobs. We need private sector jobs. Not only for the government of Sierra Leone. Judge Kamal says the Paramount chief, he don't watch beaucoup CNN. So now, they talk about the rich gaining the system. Dr. Kandeh Kolleh Yumkella say, this particular one, that concession day, he able build for we correct diagnostic center. He says so, NGC not agree for that. Who say you team up after you don't hear this? Because for me, I don't tell you my own position already. I feel to say ACC for coming inside this. Something somewhere not correct. So ACC they need for kind inside this. When they talk about parliament, then I remember to Samuel say he said this a bad shade deal. Yeah? Somebody send me a text with a question. Even the chief will talk. Yes, alone. He said the chief says, he get interest. Now I make the chief talk what he talk. But Nayana Salon, how we go get things fixed? How? And again, now as alone we all come out. Something there under this we're not clean. Yes, Usman Toli, you get the platform, sir.
Oh, thank you very much, Triple A, for having me, and thanks to everybody who is listening to the program this night. And happy for talk on the issue relating to Parliament and debate on the rehabilitation and refurbishment of the Kissy storage tank project. Quickly, I will give you an overview. Then, as usual, I will give you some of the concerns then where I get over the project, stating also clearly the advantages of the project. Quickly to start with, these are agreements in the table in Parliament, we will be in agreement between the Sierra Leone government, represented by the Minister of Trade and Industry, and that of Minister of Finance on one side, when they represent the government. On the other side, the All Petroleum Products Salon. This is the name of the company where they don't give the one with the agreement with the government. All Petroleum Products Salon. They want them for their rehabilitation. At the same time for refurbish. Remember the Kissy storage tank project, we are the oil refinery project. So now what I will do, I will quickly take to some of the key things that we discuss on the project. As you listen clearly to the audio, the Minister of Trade and Industry, Inga Sandi, he argues, the main purpose or the main intent of this agreement now for just bring some infrastructure where it will take care of the storage capacity, especially with this COVID-19, we will serve as a storage facility for petroleum products. In other words, you want to take advantage of the excess where they go on because of the fall in the petroleum products, so that we will store them, so that in future, when the prices can rise, we will still get reserve. That's one of your arguments. And then secondly, it talks about the employment opportunity where the project will produce, where will bring. Now your argument that way it present a Parliament, and also they bring about increase in government revenue. Yeah? That's your own argument. And you listen to the audio, the support from the person where the chairperson for the Trade Committee in Parliament, you support them based on the fact that he says Salon don't get maintenance culture. We all know that. You don't get maintenance culture. So if we get a company where they come and take over the project for maintain and dilapidated facility, yeah, he say it will be an advantage to the country. Yeah? Well, now let's look at the other side of the argument put forward by the Honorable Leader of the NGC, Dr. Kandeh Yumkella. The basic argument on two important points. One, he say the petroleum product na salon. This company, we then call All Petroleum Product na salon. Yeah? He say not suitable for the project. Because in don't check na Google. And find out say they don't get any good track record. They don't get any footprint. Or say that we don't do business now this sort of so for that reason, we say we own party the object to that. And then secondly, more importantly, I think it's about tax concession, to tax waivers. And we all remember, where this administration come to power, one of the major criticisms where they levy against the previous administration was about tax waivers and exemption. We then come, then most of the tax waivers then, where the previous administration will make them block all in one day and then stop them. So it looks like this administration, they try for reverse back to side and we don't come out. So this is not the other argument. And you clearly listen to Kandeh Yumkella. He talk about the $25 million tax waivers were involved inside this very agreement. So I think for those two important reasons, so he say, party no go support this. Yeah? So then listen to the other side of the argument when the leader of government business, when Yuma, the comment say it's a Rowdy venture, insisted that the oil products are political products in the sense that we're short in the market, we get great implications, ramifications in terms of criticism to the government. So now your side of the argument. Now let me just take on to some of the concerns that I get. One thing where I agree with Kandeh Yumkella is that, it's important for no say a lot of bad deals them they sign on a Parliament, such as the mining deals them. where we go back to what they talk about. Yeah. So, it is important that when the parliamentarians then they bring for scrutinize some of them bills here, some of them deals here, they find for them and look into that. We see a lot of, I don't say we don't get better choice in terms of investors then. Because a lot of investors know one can invest in a country, So for the government, any available investor, they will just accept them, irrespective of the background, But also, it's important for them make sure, say, when they sign a contract there, and therefore scrutinize these deals, read line by line and understand what is the importance of some of them there, as clearly stated by Kandeh, Yumkella. Yeah. So again, we talk about tax waivers. This government, I think the leader of the opposition party, when I tell him by stated one time clearly, see, this government, they oppose tax waivers under the previous administration. Now we see who say they don't come out with them, oppose, issue out directives and all that. Why then you go back and that same old thing there? So these are some of the concerns then we get. And don't forget, before I left Funam, Kandeh Yumkella, we they argue on so today. One came, they accuse them, say, 9-cell oil refinery. Yeah. And a good number of the people they believe say 9-1. But evidence don't prove, because I know a lot of people that make comment on that. We know say under the structural adjustment program where the IMF can come with, this na agreement where they don't negotiate under the previous government, under the APC in 1992, they don't negotiate on them. So when NPRC come to power, they just sign the deal. So it was not the responsibility of one person. They are not dealing with them on side. And a good number of the people believe say, in fact, not to Yumkella actually sign this thing. And sign them before, I think 3 other Minister of Trade, before in the camp. So I don't want to make people because evidence don't show say, not to one. Right? I think as I say no more, IMF, what the IMF can do and come, then say, well, for privatize, I think 40 enterprises in the country, when are private-owned enterprises, they say for privatize them. So consequently, SLPMB and oil refinery, and one of them, where they may actually refine, and where they may actually privatize. So consequently, the one we invest in that business day, it turned out to be not able to make profit out of it, because the business will be actually buy that business buy that investment may not be successful. Okay, what am I saying here? In as much as this project, it gets some new advantage, short as it creates employment opportunities, as you listen to the leader of government business talk about over 1,000 jobs. Yeah, in as much as it serve as oil reserve, because we know how important it is for low get reserve. Now we own tank in case it's shorting. We will use them for supply the market. In as much as they bring revenue to the government, but it's also important for we parliamentarians be mindful of whether they sign their contract here. Look at the background of the company who want to sign this contract. Ask yourself the question: do they have a reputable, what you say in terms of the business where they go sign the contract for? Yeah. So number one, look at the time in terms of tax waivers. It's also important, especially when we don't oppose the idea of these tax waivers. So, conclusively, I think it will be a good one. But if you listen to the leader of government business, I think one of the important points we Kissy raised, I think he not comment on them. He just concentrates on the issue of tax waivers. But the important point is, this company, they can't sign this agreement. Yeah? They didn't have a good track record. And their footprints and any kind of business that they do are reliable. Yeah? So those are some of the questions then. So I will stop here. I'll give a chance to other panelists then. Thank you very much, AAA. And sorry, I know you will listen to the audio. So because of the poor internet facility in the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Osman Tolly. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
I say Osman Tolly, this alone, so sometimes he struggle to listen. Eh? Look out, Usfriend. Make we waiting Usfriend get for we on this one. Yes, Usfriend, you get the platform, sir.
Oh, thank you very much, AAA. Thanks to able brother, Mr. Usman Tolly. In Waskanale, he talk to somebody instead of talk to the camera. One more he go try to do for with this favor, yeah. There was something in the refinery area that they been get something first. I go count to that later. While you go check the follow, you go see if there is still export that ethanol, but I suspect that they don't stop and they get another refinery in the Kissy, when they make a refinery and they make sugarcane and they get this ethanol and then they export and they don't go make a pot today. But that one they maybe will ask and you feel the guy if you check for it for anything they go on. And now coming to the topic for today, when are this oil refinery will be done there for years in the country. When are the government actually been on them in the years of the time they would have been put on there. And it been they help quite a lot for refined petroleum. And now what they actually do, then they bring the crude oil. And what are this crude oil here? They crude oil now like the way they say like if like bottle like a kind of something they put from the soil. And so they put petroleum and the extractor is the one at the sea. So they load them, it's about like a big gel is like something with water and so on fluid. But when they bring them, then they try for separate them. And this separation, when they separate them for pull put in there, then they go under this system now, where they don't go put nasal where this oil refinery. All right, they undergo like heating, temperature, then they begin to pull out. The first thing when they come on are the petrol, because petrol are the lightest one per crude. So now they evaporate, it come on. The second one are diesel. But again, the diesel no more than get other system with good na the petroleum, then they crack them back for add some amount of petrol. Now they even for pull the back petrol, but it can different. That then get diesel, then they get gasoline, then they get kerosene. Gasoline and diesel, the same thing, then they get kerosene, and then we get now that what we talk about when asphalt, when they use for make road, this full tire. Then in between the dark kerosene and the other side of the asphalt, now they can pull something like jelly and they clean them back fine, they can use them for rubbing the hair. In other words, petroleum now product we get a lot of things where they will able to sell and make money. Not to the petrol self no more of the name, now the petroleum, the crude oil. So that refinery they bring, it helps alone at some point because one, it make the petroleum cheaper because they make a home base. So the price of it rise, they go not to that too much. Okay, then again they create employment, and the employment at the chain side, the production side. So then they help for letting go down. While the one they want to specialist one, then they work on this thing. All right, they put this refinery, they go on. Then because of the culture of maintenance, they get for ruin at some point. All right, it may need rehabilitation. So there become the point now where in the how you call it Joseph Momo by then. Now Momo by then. So if been there on the tour, then before that tour they can overthrow. But again, the idea is that he will be not giving, but he may negotiate somehow with IMF. But the negotiation can't hold water. Where IMF can say, well, if one help una get for can like what time my Tolly been talk about, just go try for STEM day. So I didn't think that would they try for help una with. What should help una would they give una this money but the structural adjustment program they get for involve una for now una go privatize but put in there. When they privatize SLPMB, and they all SLPMB can be problem. The fisheries that they privatize them, So other things that the day when government be gets, will then be owned, and then still privatize them. So the privatization process, when they still privatize anything there, now they IMF don't can't give the restructure money. But by then, you get successors. You get Yumkella, you get Samura. Well, Samura, I think, it come after Yumkella, because Samura don't act in different sectors of government there. As different sectors. I think he acts as a finance minister, finance secretary. He acts as a minister of every government there. I think from most of the 90s, we don't change work with him. Then he came to Yumkella now. They just appoint, I think, say they appoint 1994 in December, August. Then now he resigned 1995. But the plan was already in place. Wherein the IMF, the Leone campus, will have for restructure them, this system. Yeah. So it come about to be quick, fast forward, they can bring this company from Nigeria. This company from Nigeria, then they call them Chevron. The company from Nigeria, they get for come buy this year after the IMF no restructure. But it can be a problem wherein the Nigerian government not be rich for letting them be able to produce the type of petroleum like the type of place where they did. So here comes now the quality of the petrol. The quality of the crude oil, again, they determine the quality of the petrol. Because you get what thing that they call the hydrocarbons that they make up of that now something where they will make up the petrol. Okay, that hydrocarbon make up the petrol, it gets some people that want to obtain where now some hydrocarbon where keep poisonous to some water them and some engine. So when you produce them, you get for how you produce those type of oil. All right. They come out to the area of the company where they go get in Nigeria for them to go refine the crude oil when they bring. But because you know, say some of the crude oil when they come, most of the areas in Africa, it come out one from the one they want to work areas. Some of in one way then they do trafficking, where they use for money laundering. So you know they come from OPEC, it's the Organization for Petroleum Export Companies. So most of the country where they produce, you know, we're this company. But the idea is that whatever Nigeria company Chevron will get, they're not being get the capacity and the quality they wouldn't get in the machine they will be get. They're not able to refine them because now the crude oil will be get lots of problem. So the machine get for point. So the emissions not being get for go before. Because they're not being get the right type of thing and the type of oil they use, you know, be crude oil, you know, be able to accommodate the machine able to accommodate quality there. So what did they do? They decided for sell them. They left the company. So it just for bring problem where the money able for recover and then self can hand over. They left the government do successor then now of different people. Like Kandeh Yumkella in just count 1 year. Now he actually inaugurate them. They would have talk this case between Kandeh Yumkella and Samura for accusation. Say you do this, you do this. Now would have talk the case. Now we big mommy wanna we are blinded. See, so the experience say no, this is my and I do it. It's my and I know. Now I'm the Ministry of Finance, now I'm the bank governor and finance. So now I'm the help the people have for make arrangements. So now I'm not for blame. In other words, they have to cast the blame indirectly to Samura because now they do inside the monetary section of the work. But the idea behind it is that it is not for look say it is all due to mismanagement. Somebody will know for say na so team for the oil, na so team na need, na so company, you company will bring, when I go for meet up for do this year, then the negotiation come. So a kind of replication I really try for see indirectly here. And they try for see not only the same people they will be there, but a variety of them. Because what I been the NGC by then, we know. After they push riser, so they be accept this company here for come because they accept the deal. Then when you talk about accepting the deal, you go ask you, oh, maybe not Samura Kamara again. But you go ask again, well, maybe that pressure being against you, well, now this wants, therefore accept them because of the not go before. So you go, these are the people who were in place. But can you suspect say That 1 year time will be served when you don't go actually inaugurate the refinery. From what you already feel, I know they say that's what happened. Maybe now all these things you see wrong, now you decide to go America. So, in other words, the thing will cause a problem after the privatization of we business, SLPNB, all these kind of things. The revenue will come because they say the government need for only do a kind of a social development, for devolving business. So that's why IMF can introduce the idea. So all this being therefore create a foundation wherein that one they don't left now point, then therefore fail now company come. But the question come again, this company when they go come, then they can't revamp them, of course. Are they going to revamp it? Then go get petroleum, who said they're going to get the crude oil? Now genuine OPEC go about, now deal will go work fine. So that tomorrow we'll get something similar for say, well, this company we don't come, that they can't make a bad deal, or that they make this. But only hope, like you say, those who are ready to be ref and moderators, let them try come in and spy and see what thing they go on. Maybe like this demand they try for avert, where they say, then I will repeat again something similar will don't happen. Because that thing we don't turn up for long. In need for let them revamp them. But putting investments, we self can get crude oil. But the problem not just about this octane and the level of hydrocarbon, the quality of them. But they don't get company. The company will be on first kind of the Ajip or something. They make a display one thing that they see. With them playing them, they can't extract that. They'll be shaking time towards the end of them. Now they take some big fuel out, tanker, they carry them when they go test this fuel. They will never knew anything about it. But the idea that they say, well, the petrol will get under the water and secondly the quality. But they never came back with that. That was what would be the accident. If they ever don't can out take again a sample for good know if they don't develop past what they have been getting. If we were good for purpose, we say we'll get her, we just refinery. You see? So these are the kind of things where I think say Kandeh Yumkella they try to pronounce see now for that it look a bit harder because you know say hand be clean. And Samura will not go see that they seller, we will just say no man the regime been there together with present president, that the regime been do this deal, which was a good aim, but they not be work for no waiting involved. If that petrol when they can't put another machine, go pull them. Just like when they go put someone they put salt and something, but then they do kerosene, you see more engine later they spoil because of they use the wrong type of fuel. So those are the kind of things when they for try look. The money go they go, the development no go they occur. And then in the end, sometimes you don't even know if that dumping of the waste, then when the waste they sort of a recycle them for use on the asphalt, who will cause back climate problem. And now people that develop climate problem, now they go break this. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but these are the things that therefore try and look. Now that may be that man they ask. Because the company maker in Nigeria will be doing. But this one, like a man there who just put in for all of do business. And I believe, say, if they go for do one, now they want the hand that they go for ask no more. When Africa production of oil, who they get for come out to now, we don't know. How the petrol get for come, the quality of them, you don't know. Because the crude oil is in the quality. And that is why we still not get that petrol when they don't get oil, they're not able for come pull it. Because we not get people that wait in that farm for them to can't check them. So that when they check them, we can go to even produce them and we go to even sell them out. Because we are not just by the sea. When this you know they pass inside people in place, like when they cause problem in Nigeria, we say people go the Tifa, they just come straight, they kind of the refinery. So now from the sea to the land. So all those kind of advantages you get, but it's a matter of implementing. But Mrs. Never doubt this deal in terms of science. Now people don't know what they get for go hire people and when they go hire, they remember they hire them like when they say that deal no more they go do for long get people for can work. Not in that top quality, who they know a refinery, where we don't get the experience for doing. They will work well. Let them try to think about it. That's even, I don't go in fact into them because the bit is too much big. There's still Leone with the agriculture. One man they talk about why we train people who have vet them. What would they do the training for train other people and why agriculture for do husbandry. Not just the left people and they will train people and the other things we get for the train people who will get them because we get the foundation, but they are not helping that foundation for develop. You see, and that one be more. If you enjoy the see no more in the news, because if you look at the debates, I don't go one way again from the debates about ambulance. Yes, people in the talk every day, the government don't provide ambulance. Then you just the question, but I never found like this, so we'll get something for talk. But the idea is the deal has to be looked at in this area of waiting especially the petroleum. We have this company, the type of machinery. The employment will not say go employ people, but that machinery, then it can out to the taxation and the deal. So that's what I want them for look into. Thank you very much for the platform. Let God continue for help you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Usfriend.
Yeah, you're most welcome, sir.
Yes, sir. We don't get Usfriend in your submission on this one. Make we come with Dr. Aissatou Jallo. Make we waiting on your take on this. Yes, Doctor, you get the platform.
Yes, hi, good evening, everyone. I hope everybody did do well. Me, before I take on what's really to go on, I want for just remind we viewers, the listeners, and also we've fumbled in our salon about COVID-19, as we done the area about many different vaccines. Then would it come up, and today a news come with AstraZeneca, then don't bring up the vaccine, say the vaccine, it could be, effective for about 90%, way more than, the effectiveness we not even past the flu vaccine what they get. So, and then they anticipate for a day in production of about 200 billion vaccines for this year before the year end. And also next year, then we'll get, tons of vaccine, where the vaccine will cost about $3 to $4, for each vaccine. So that means, then they're not, right now, the vaccination for COVID-19, as the cases then they spread very high in America right now, they compete for Udaga forget the highest production of vaccination. As we'll be done to talk now, vaccine they take longer, or medication they take longer, they go through different phases. But to say how serious this COVID-19 is, how this pandemic is, now make money, they don't pour money into vaccination or vaccine production. So that for make everybody for take COVID-19 seriously, just because they hit Africa like they hit America, or they hit Europe and other countries then where they develop. Now because we get them country, then they can able handle the COVID-19 better than we own country, because we they deal with some health issues them where we say God just they see sorry for we. That's all I could say, like God is sorry for we, because we not get the facilities them, we not get the things that we going to help with for take care of COVID-19. But now a good news knowing that COVID-19 vaccines then they come, and for me, like I say, me not somebody who believe in vaccination, because I can say if you do nothing, they get anything out of it. Meaning if you expose yourself to COVID-19, and before you expose, take precautions them for prevent yourself with vaccination, not a way of preventing yourself from COVID-19 where the vaccine come. So I know people then go begin to ask so many questions them as to whether them for take this COVID-19 vaccine or not, whether them for trust COVID-19 vaccine or not. Right now, the challenge for public health, or practitioners them or nurses them now and also the government as well as, whether in America or other countries, them now let's see how best you go educate the public on the need for vaccination, and as to what the vaccination will do for reduce the rate of transmission, along with all the different measures them where they go on. And we know about Moderna, we already they in the making, then don't go through all of them right now. They are in the phase 3 clinical trials, but AstraZeneca, we come up with I listened to today, on CNN, they talk about, actually, that was NBC News, I've been listening to, then don't get about 20,000 participants them we participated in this vaccine for sure. Say many people them don't enroll in the clinical trials, and where I've been talk about clinical trials phase 1, you just get few volunteers them we can enroll in the vaccine trial, and then within that trial then they monitor for see that dose what then they give, if the dose good enough, and within some of the side effects that we present with, and then in phase 2 clinical trials, it gets about additional people then where they add, where the number they, double or even triple. And that can go on for months, and then you're talking about, in the phase 3 clinical trial, where we say now, then they see, okay, waiting at the other adverse drug events, them where they go on. And if all these are something that we can document and show, effectiveness and show, say, the medication or the vaccine go do well for people, them, and the benefits outweigh the risk, they can put on a market. The FDA, when the Food and Drug Administration go accept and approve the vaccine for let it go into the market and for let people use them. It can go into phase 4 where they say that now the record and see what are some of the black box warning, meaning what are some of the adverse drug events them will go to happen, will they not be the expect or will they not be even able for come up with during the clinical trial, the phase 1, 2, and 3, will they not see. Now this not like an ongoing, it can go on for years, and then they go to document and then sometimes we at the clinic here will prescribe specific cancer treatment. If patient present with side effects where they say it not be new, then they see multiple follow-up. The drug company, they send multiple follow-up just for see waiting they go on, waiting are be the causes them for that happen, waiting are some of the things them where we do as clinicians them for ensure the patient safe. So that documentation, they not like a health watch, where it be safe. If you even Google the medication, you see, and also the FDA get them website, then they, you can report the side effect there. So, so that they can keep track of it. So, but definitely where this vaccine come, we they deal with Pfizer, we they deal with Moderna, even Merck, many of these other different companies then they work so hard right now for love fight COVID-19 with vaccination. But before that come into the market, I just want with my brother, sisters, parents and fellow Sierra Leoneans them, whether now within Sierra Leone and outside Sierra Leone, see the vaccine as something we then would take. And if you have questions before these vaccines even start, we forget a program, a health talk, so we could discuss exactly within these now the benefits, within are the risk, within are some of the expected side effects, and we'll go to see where people then they get vaccine. But just so let everybody know, with any vaccination, you're gonna feel like a little sore at the injection site. There's risk for allergic reaction because the first time you get that's not something, the muscle ache, similar to like a low grade fever. Some people then can get that. So we go through those things, and then so that people then really understand and know say something we could benefit them, so we could move on with we life if we could be able to tackle COVID-19. So we hope that we could be able to do that very soon as we hear more news on COVID-19, and we want for let people then continue for adhere to COVID-19 measures, them the mask wearing. Again today CNN was also their health reporter, they talk about, which I believe in that, as a clinician, about 70%. If 70% of the population wear mask, you can reduce the rate of transmission greatly. So now just, like the whole country for understand, say the mask wearing, not to something we will for play around with, the social distancing, not to something we for play around with, not something we for take very seriously. COVID-19, they kill. Today alone, 1,500, just counting, the day not end it. We don't die from COVID-19 today in America. And then they don't get over how many thousands of cases we don't report today, say, people that tested positive. So this is serious. And now this is getting even worse than how it was from, in April and March, comparing to the rate of people that would die from COVID-19. And so Lord really take with time in how we handle situation. If you need for visit family, friends, them this holiday, especially those of, we would live overseas, maybe not do too much gathering, try for really stay home this year and then see how you can connect with your loved ones. There's different ways that you can do that. You don't need to meet in person. And then just briefly on waiting the topic day on today, now the oil, I believe we're talking about, the oil, debate where they go on at Parliament, and we also Dr. Kandeh Yumkella, yes, we appreciate the fact that, he gave a good point about exactly whether we forgo with this particular, contract with a one gig or with a one do, I'm just like shocked to say that he come about and talk is too late. For me, it's too late. He could have done this earlier. And the reason why I say this, this not possible if we don't run for presidency before. For me, where it come, and I don't say this before, saying that, if you wanted me to do this, that was with the economy, you could have elected me. For me, that was selfish in a sense. It was selfish because you as a Sierra Leonean, they say because when I not elect me, so that means I'm not going to participate, I'm not going to contribute or give me expertise them out there. But what you do today, not a good one for put a roadblock or put a stop to it, for understand, say, in voice, it makes sense. People then will begin to look up to things like this now the Parliament. We already don't see people that we don't spoke up now Parliament, how then they treat them, they go through, ethics committee and things like that. And people like them are there, they should make their voice heard better. And with the hope, say, whatever deal or whatever thing that they try for do with this oil refinery business, then go able for come to something we go benefit Sierra Leone, and no say we still they ask and we still want to see some of the basic human needs them they go on at the country. So I don't get much to say about this Usfred and Usman Toli Dongi, brilliant submission, and Usfred went into more of the science, which which is really appreciative every time as he expand on those things for we. So we do hope for the best, and we hope say Salon will move forward and Salon will rise again. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doctor.
Thank you.
Doctor, they talk about vaccine. He said and say the vaccine go be $3 to $4. No, not over the country give me come on. The country where come on. We can't parenting and they not get for to be that kind of price day. But me and vaccine. Not to party. No left and son no more. For right now. Lord you go. When they were in the medical field, they go they admonish we. We want to take vaccine. No, go take and go if you say when vaccinated, they sit down at the same room. Well, line that back to the matter. Waiting at the matter. Oil refinery for rehabilitation. You need proper refurbishment. You don't see, don't they? For the longest time, you could remember. So, people then gather themselves. They say, now investors then. It is a good one. We not discourage Sierra Leoneans that are investors. We want for help out. But boy, oh boy, even if this now foreign company become, we go question them. Let alone this one. All petroleum projects alone. Somebody can catch me, say no mend them. All petroleum products. I don't know. Una go get for Kolleh and make we know. This is what somebody say. Person say na lucky pa. I dey do PSG. I dey keep am. Why they do me submission? Now they talk within the person say. Yeah? I dey do PSG right now. PSG don't keep me on for Saturday. May they keep me on for where they do me on at the end. Well, for giving more insight to this, I will give you how the thing be happen na Parliament. na concession agreement between the government of Sierra Leone, where na the Ministry of Trade and Industry and the Ministry of Finance, and they represent to we, the people of Sierra Leone, and the All Petroleum Product Sierra Leone. All Petroleum Product Sierra Leone. That's what the company calling itself. For the rehabilitation and refurbishment of the Kissy storage tank project. Odabi present this ratification agreement that the Minister of Trade, Dr. Edward Hinga Sandi, and we they present this ratification is say this agreement now for ensure development on the infrastructure by rehabilitating the storage facility within a Kissy petroleum project and for expand the facility for contain up to 700,000 metric tons for purpose of reserving. For reserving. They say now for who say they come again get petroleum reserve, petroleum products. They say this one go boost the revenue mobilization for the government and create job opportunity for the people of Sierra Leone. You be here. The chairperson of the Parliamentary Trade Committee will be here. The talk, Honorable Veronica Kadisise. Imbi say the trade agreement is timely and important for the development of the trade sector in Salone. And na Imbi talk say is a maintenance culture na big major challenge na Salone. So a call for proper monitoring and evaluation of this particular project so as to make them meet the intended purpose will include waiting job creation for enhance the livelihood of the people of Sierra Leone. We will get opportunity for go work there. Honorable Kandeh Yumkella, he not be bojo, he not be look the flow with all the one that we don't give you first. He say Parliament for be involved in the initial scrutiny process of any agreement before the executive in order for waiting for ascertain the relevance of such agreement to the nation. When now the same thing happened when the minister go to the cable, salon cable, na parliament. What they don't done, what the minister they don't done, all waiting they do. Now the 10 they go now na parliament. For go explain to parliament, when I so don't do, then if everything, if no question not be asked like how they get this stumbling block now, for we just say number now. All in favor say aye. All against say nay. The ayes have it. Now move on so. But now, not to so. So, Honorable KKY, they say, that initial stage, who said they make that first meeting, they need to involve Parliament today. So, if not a good deal, not to Parliament, then go can sit down the talk about that. Then go down to where and do. For so they wanna go fix this, wanna fix that. So then can a Parliament now, all those in favor and all those against, it will just fall in place. But in Tibap Padawan, and me self one for agree on that particular one. For say some of them big projects there, now you can make could they end up getting so bad deal. Because if they want the way they be in these projects are be lobby. And for be don't cover KKY with one big blanket. For be talk again. Now all those in favor now for be just hearing no more now. Okay. But with Parliament, then get this thing. Remember that one for that passport? That first one we see then give me je. By the time they marry, apparently you say, oh no, they don't pass a more. How they pass a need to know self again? Because that thing now, this first one, now they can sell themselves for make you know say this now potential for make you go meet them, for make you able for that first one. Now that they can do for make you able to pinpoint say when I will need for to be sure they say that's what can happen at Parliament. There, I can't say just on people in I say. He say the petroleum industry, that's an honorable Kandeh Kolleh Yumkella. Okay, make a call this caller. Are they to KKY? In case I won't forget, remember me, I've been there. Like how this caller. Yes, caller, is they live on here? Your name and who call from, please?
Yeah, this is Omar from Minneapolis.
Yes, Omar, you get 3 minutes, sir.
Thank you so much. I think this refinery stuff here, the one question I get from the facility for all the machinery where they inside there, now that the provider.
Well, all I want to explain to you, sir.
Okay, that's my problem here, because if that particular company or the Sierra Leoneans, they will come together for say they're able to do this, say fractional distillation, it entails is very expensive. I don't know if people know that. If not the government, they provide all the things and the amenities that way necessary for do that particular task, I can understand. A good idea for let them bring that. I know say the $25 million where people will look at that. Sometimes they look at the expenses behind the whole process too. Then people need that machinery, the manpower, all that stuff. Now the government they provide that one. You understand? Say that $25 million, but even at that, it's very hard for you, the outsider.
I want all you that $25 million are just one part the concession demo.
Okay. Well, the one we know first, I don't make a talk about that. The other one, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. The one we don't come out, we me understand about, the $25 million, one of the first concession. We are the outsider, we know the first concession and the way we understand. But now because I don't know about the other concession there. But that particular task there, not an easy job that they do. We therefore utilize the products the way they come after that, but you don't know. There's a possible way they make sausage, you don't know how the sausage is made. All you need, you just go buy the sausage and eat them, right? But you don't know, I don't work on it, So the $25 million, I can understand how that it can be big stuff for Sierra Leone for lose that one day or give on away. But you get to look at the other side of the coin. How much you get for take them people and they for put all lengthing and they in place. Follow you get what you forget. Especially the reserve and they ask for, So you don't take this all the concessions for come. But even if other concessions and this you get to look at the product for Sierra Leoneans there. Now that you need to know. Then people that say they do that stuff, you know we expect it. They will carry on their project and they without profit. Go fine, because we don't even know the machinery we involved for do that. The next concern we get now, because them process they get environmental concerns to them. I know say me not in the follow on way been there before now that Kissy area when I did the refinery been there, not so. Yes. The environmental concern when I get done I don't teach up that one. They pollute, And I don't know if then pollution and live in the happy yonder. We get fresh water they start to, salt water they will start to how them they handle the environmental concern then they.
No idea.
Okay, see that's now one thing back where you bring a refinery over places because you get species that no one for loss in that place, whether they're at the sea or nearby, places that we try and get for the do and stuff then. So now one thing that I think I recommend them for taking account environmental concern because everybody that the world today now this environmental stuff that they look at too. So let it not be say we be a dumping ground where everybody will count stuff like this. We therefore will not get good healthcare system. So you come back or go pollute the area for people there, either which way by land or sea or which way. You have to get something in place for protect the people. So that's my own contribution there tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Omar.
Yeah.
Omar, they talk about air pollution and all those things. Until last week, President Bill say in they follow science for climate change. I hope say they're not going to say because oil refinery be there and that. So if I just continue for the day, because before the population will be there in that area there and now, it's quite different. Now go back to the matter. Over there, by waiting KKY being say. He say the petroleum industry now the lifeline for the development of any nation. Hey. Because I talk now, I just don't say Honorable Kandeh Kolleh Yumkella and oil refinery in Sierra Leone, then him say like the jam. Usman Toli come in doing submission. Usman come himself talk about who sell, who not sell, who been there, who not there. Usman Toli back be talk me. I say then two name then they then King Jam. Let us continue. He said that the lifeline for any development. So if it not be the lifeline, would that be caught Saloni lifeline? Would that be caught in lifeline that thing? Hey, if not the lifeline, somebody caught her. No wonder who Salon the struggle now for development. A call on the agreement to be checked and properly monitored during the implementation. It's based on the research we do. The company, get one track record by any petroleum business. And also, it be make babuyai by the huge tax concession whether in favor for this company. He said the NGC not go support the agreement considering the huge tax concession. He also talks say, why make they not be open this to bid? Make other companies the way don't they do petroleum business and salon like NP, Total, Leone Oil. Make themselves bid, make themselves show interest. Why make they not be doing? Why? Okay, we'll continue. The Chief Whip of Parliament, Honorable Dixon Rogers, say the company don't invest beaucoup money in the rehabilitation process and in a firm believer for say the company go deliver. Honorable Kandeh Kolleh Yumkella say he no see nothing na Google, but in a Google you go ask. Which means maybe they look for some company there will get correct footing inside petroleum business. But the chief whip in say this company don't spend beaucoup money per rehabilitation process. Who side and spend them? Whose process? Waiting they rehabilitate? Who sign a salon? Now out of salon? Usai. I say Usai. These are some of the questions we would ask. Because I talk say, then people don't spend in a firm believer for say then people are go deliver. He say, now high time make them stop for use politics in development and acknowledge there is no perfect agreement in the world. Hallelujah. Yeah. Let me repeat, Sandy. The chief whip na parliament say, when a Honorable Dixon Rogers, he say na high time for make them stop for use politics inside development and therefore acknowledge, say, there is no perfect agreement in the world. Salon Parliament.
Maybe not a kind of small. Now, for KKY, when KKY go, the negotiations been gone with all the companies. But now, in the minister under the MPRC, we finish the job. Now, the question here is ethics. If you be no say, in all right, if you left enough for sign deal, if you don't resign commodity. I really also talk about, I think now Usman told talk say, if you don't resign, he resign later. So man says, if you don't hold you before you go. Anyway, the point coming to this one, I give credit today. I've been watching the program where he objects. And I also give credit for the objection we make about the COVID regulations. That one in another matter. But again, this credit today, because these things say, now from the background, it don't land the sense. And when you consider what's in the happening at the timber side, this timber gateway they go on right now, we don't lost 5.5 billion. And you look at the minister who they in charge, the Minister of Trade, not only the border of the minister of the secretary to the president. So now deal with this company with them grab say now they are all petroleum now. As KKY say, there is no background check. Who are these people? Now the same thing today, Cherry Bar talk now that one other program. These people will go get a monopoly for the timber. I mean, there is no paperwork. Nobody knows whose company it be. They say mistake been be for cubic meter or by tonnage or whatever they transport timber. Now the same problem. We not do the background check for the investigate who these investors are. We catch the investors. We say, oh, they're company. I don't know the background of the chairwoman of the trade and industry, Veronica Kandeh. I don't know what technical background she's about to say, oh, then we'll do well and all that. Who said I spend the couple? Me as a banker, as a chartered banker, and a qualified chartered banker, when would you investigate companies? Would you take all the past financial statements and look what they don't do? Who are the directors? It's not just the money within a bank and the profit that they make. We want to know the influence with the director then get. Who side them come out? What thing them done they do all the years here? Who are these people? What other interests then get where they want to push this thing to so quick one? Now the same thing and do now when we don't know how we deal with this timber. We are pushing companies, and as you rightly say, I and 9 minutes go on. So KKY don't do well for block up the initial contracts then with don't see them. There is no bidding, there is no offering. Oil companies and in Sierra Leone, why do not make reference to them? Who are these people? What background references have they got? I want to see oil refining revive, obviously. But again, how does that contradict the IMF rules we're under? We say not for retouch government, not for go private business. You either privatize them, but that makes sure all them companies and they been the commercial government they have. But we not in that strength where Europe and America did for privatize. It's like IBK, we say that free enterprise. There is no complete free enterprise. Even in England, when they've been privatized gas and electricity, there is government input. We pay television license and the government is gonna through BBC. You say that BBC, but the government, the money they go to. These taxes, all these tax concessions, show we say there is influence. There is influence. This man, Babadi, nobody not seem to know who he be. He does like a front man. And what he is, which we channel on the talk today, me when I mean what things I know sometimes are shock. The linkages, when you look at the minister in relationship with the secretary to the president, the spokesman to the mandate, the spokesman to the president, it's all family business. So now we'll be very careful. And I think, say, when I see Abbas put a foot on this, they accept today, say, yes, they will suspend certain things until later. And even the COVID regulations. And I'm glad how KKY pick up that thing, the backdating. So technically, there has been no rules were valid since the 2nd of July to now. The COVID regulations. I don't know if you've been watching the program. But I then say I will give KKY credit today, among other things then. Because not a man way easy for give credit. I know say he talk about too much. He talk bluff talk too much. But today he gets it right. But me believe say that the experiences we don't get from the blame we don't get from 92, 94 ways he died. We previously all man they blame him for the selling of the refinery. Now that's what I talk.
Thank you very much, Israel.
Thank you.
Yeah. No say Israel Papa, always welcome. It'll take we way back and give you some lectures. But it depends on which kind of a student you be. Eh? Even a class. Not all students they go for take. Eh? Okay, make I continue with Cherry Coco. Nade we say in share the views with what in NGC say. He commended the minister for the agreement and he support the rehabilitation of the petroleum project. The leader of business, government business, Honorable Matthew Sa-Numa, he be advised the MP then for avoid being subjective on debate on political grounds. Yes, salon. Okay. On waiting political grounds. He tell thank you to the MP then we contribute to the motion and he had say the agreement go hugely benefit the government of Salone and the people of Sierra Leone. He also say the petroleum products na political products and no government no go want for see shortage of fuel when they govern. So he want for make the one the MP they would afraid. Waiting in the afraid, you don't know. With regards to termination clause inside the agreement. He say fuel in shorting one. It gets potential for halt the smooth function of the state. Also, following, let me see, no, Lord, left hand now. I don't think I get much for saying again. Because from the start to the finish, I be don't chuk me on the. Eh? The all petroleum product salon. Somebody can catch me say, to me talko, they say, na some people them, where the person in call pauper boys, he say na then come together, then call themselves investors. So na a scheme. Like I said, the all petroleum product Sierra Leone, then can come and can defend themselves. This is not what person say. It is not confirmed. But in Sierra Leone, they say anything can happen. But we know how to make this discourage genuine Sierra Leoneans they move on for invest. But again, with this kind concession alone, I don't know, maybe you sabi, but as far as me concerned, I don't look through all how this thing happened. There was not a final amount to this particular project. They not tell you how much the project get for cost. Who that go provide the money, all the money? Eh? There are some things then they were questionable by this. Yes, now we brothers them, na Sierra Leoneans them. But the way salon they, we sabi, eh? We sabi how salon they. So because we sabi how salon they, I make with a question. They can be genuine companies. We not ever put on per petroleum because according to KKY. But Honorable Veronica say, then people don't rehabilitate something where they don't spend beaucoup money. Waiting at that thing there. There's something then they where they talk. Not just say something. Tell we waiting, who say, when, how much na the money. That time they will not say you get the fact of what you they talk. Because gone are the days where person just they can't ala no more we hear. Since now you say them they don't do one before, they don't rehabilitate. So something like rehabilitation na they specialize on, not to petroleum. Because as far as KKY is concerned, in a petroleum, na ain't go search for. Petroleum na ain't go search for. They say not see them do petroleum business. Honorable Veronica say they don't rehabilitate, they don't invest beaucoup money for rehabilitation. Waiting, whose kind, where, when, how. And then the number one. But for one great concession, I agree with Umar say from Minneapolis. Agreed. Because anything we get for do it, oil, refinery, and storage and all this, yes, it's going to cost huge sum of money. Eh? All. It will cost beaucoup money. But again, if one grain wafer don't give $25 million, waiting left. When that road they now go and use like how they use the toll road per way. Now almost nothing the toll road. 30 days they will come but they pay. 30 days I don't know standing for don't know. But 30 days then they pay. And they pay better one back. And I know see, oh they go December go meet and day. Oh they go back next April go meet and day. Oh go back na so go they meet and day no more. Who stand and go down? Wait to something come to mind too safe. From all this particular 5th Parliament don't sit down. They don't ever call for watch the books of that toll road. They never call them toll road people and they ask them question. Eh? This is just crossed me mind the whole they talk about this petroleum business. Because 30 days then they pay. Because by now they're supposed for done. Who they pay for road not get lights? Who they get for lights that road today? The one green toll road who they pay for. Na salon, it no get lights. And who they pay? So until they put lights and go add per the toll money, say they want for pay for the lights then back. Salon a place, yeah? What they try? We'll get to young game them. I hope say this particular one. Eh? They're not going to surprise we. Because they surprise we by that passport. The first one is Kisabi ala. Pass your in on zoom. Smooth ride. He pass. I pass, I not pass. Waiting and fix, waiting and not fix. You need to do nothing. Pass all in favor. And all against. Say nay. Go there back tomorrow. Eh? We hope for the best, Sierra Leone. What I can say for pray for Salon, somebody can I say, I like to pray to nothing no they happen at Salon. He say God they help the one they will help themselves. Salon people they will not help themselves. I mean could they say pray. Waiting pray they do safe. Hey, Papa God. O. Yeah. Until they don't tell we, until we say, no perfect agreement nothing at the world. The two people away perfect are the government of Salone and the minister. Forget a perfect deal, a perfect agreement. Oh. Enjoy the rest of your day, if in a still daytime to you, the rest of your evening, the rest of your night, the rest of your morning. Till we meet again tomorrow. Tripoli say, Tata.